Hi there everybody, Mr. A here with you. Today we are looking at statistics and in particular cumulative frequency curves. Now before we get into a worked example, there's a couple of things that we need to know. First of all, from a set of data we need to find the center point. This center point is called the median. It's the middle point of our data, and there's a couple of ways you can do this. Today we'll be looking at grouped data. It's a lot easier to do it without group data, but let's have a look at our worked example here. Alrighty, so there's our little table there. We have our scores and they are grouped, like you can see, a score of 1 to 15. 2 people got that score. That's what the frequency refers to there. A score of 16 to 30. 6 people got that particular score. So we're looking at, it could be anything. Let's say it's a mark for an exam or a test. So again, going through it, a score of 1 to 15. 2 people got that. 16 to 30. 6 people got that, and so on and so forth. Now the actual question itself says to draw a cumulative frequency curve and find the median of the data above. So from this table we need to find the center point, the middle of our data. Let's have a look at our steps. Step number 1, add a cumulative frequency column to the table, and I've done that there. You can see it's the same table as above, except it has an extra column to the right hand side and it's got that cumulative frequency. All that means, that cumulative frequency, that refers to, or that means that it has a running score sheet of this frequency. So we have to add a couple of things to get the numbers in there. Let me grab a pen here. So the first thing that we're doing is we need to fill out this first box or this first cell. To do that, we always add the number to the side here, in this case to 0. The first one is always something plus 0. So we have a cumulative frequency of 2. Next up, to get the next number in our next cell, we have to do 2 plus 6, and that gives us 8. So our cumulative frequency is so far 8. For the next cell, we have to do 2 plus 6 plus 19. So 2 plus 6 plus 19, and it gives us 27. I think you get the hang of it. Next we do 2 plus 6 plus 19 plus 21. So 2 plus 6 plus 19 plus 21 gives us 48. Okay, another little trick you can do is, for example, from this number here, instead of just adding all of them up, you can go 48 plus the next number, which is 7. So we can write it this way: 48 plus 7 gives us 55. So that's another little hint you can use. Now we can do 55 plus 1 gives us 56. So that's our cumulative frequency there. Now let's have a look at what the next part of the question is. So we've done the first step there, add a cumulative frequency column to the table. We've done that there. Okay, the next step we have to do is draw our graph, our cumulative frequency graph. And if I just grab a pen here and quickly fill these in, because we need our tables. So we had 2, we had 8, 27, 48, 55, and 56. So there's the numbers that we had before in the table that we worked out. Now we need to draw the actual graph. So the way we do this is on the bottom here, on the x-axis, you always have your score. So we can put that in. We can label it, and you need to work out a good scale to use. In this case we've gone up by tens. Again, that's up to you and it depends on the data. Now up on the y-axis here we need to have our cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency, there we go. Alrighty. So what we need to look for now is just the second numbers here. Because we have grouped data, we have 1 to 15 and 16 to 30, we need to only look at the second number in these groups. So these numbers here, that's what we're going to use to graph them on our axis here. So let's have a go. Remember, we use our scores and we use our cumulative frequency column here to graph them. So the first one, we look for a score of 15 on the x-axis. 15 is roughly about there, and on the cumulative frequency a score of 2. So we go from 15 up to roughly about 2, which is somewhere about there. Next up we have 30 and 8. So we find 30 here and we go up to around about 8, which is roughly there. Next, 45 and 27. 45 is about there, 27 is about there somewhere. 60 and 48. 60 is there, going all the way up to 48, roughly there. 75 and 55. 75 is there, 55 is roughly there. And the last one, 90 and 56. So we're right at the end. 90 and 56 isn't much higher, so about there. Okay, so we've done that. The next thing we have to do is just join the dots. Now remember, you always have to start from 0, 0, so we've got to do a dot in there as well. And then you just simply join your dots together. And you do this by hand. Mine doesn't look too amazing, but there we go. So you have your data points, and we have joined them together, and we have a nice smooth curve. Just like so. Alrighty, now that we have our graph, let's have a look at what happens next. So, what we need to do is use that equation that we have at the top there, that n plus 1 divided by 2, to find the median, to find the middle point. N is always the total value, and it's always either the last number in the cumulative frequency column, this one here, or if you add all of these up, you'll get a total underneath of 56 again. So your N is always how many scores do you have, the total of the frequency, let's put it that way. So in our case we have 56 plus 1 over 2, so 56 plus 1 is 57, divided by 2 gives us 28.5. Now what we need to look for is the 28th and a half value on our cumulative frequency. So if we grab a different color, we'll use the same one. So if we use this 28.5, we need to find that on our cumulative frequency here, right? Draw a line and go across until we hit our graph line, and then go down. So if we do that quickly, 28.5 is roughly about there. If we go all the way across, do a dotted line like that, all the way across until we hit our graph. Now remember, this isn't exactly accurate because it's not on graph paper or anything like that. And then we go down, we find that our median is somewhere around 46, and we read that 46 from where we land on the graph there. That would be roughly 46. If you do it on graph paper or on Excel, it would be much more accurate, but we roughly get about 46 as a median. So what I've got that there is back to the graph. On the y-axis, find the 28.5th value and draw a line across, and then down until you find your median. Hope that's helped. I hope that's helped a little bit with your cumulative frequency graphs. Let me know if you have any questions as always, and see you next time.